Good morning, San Antonio and the surrounding areas. You know who you are, just in case you forgot. That's right, London, Japan, and Poteet. We are huge in all these places, and I am writing solo today. You normally on Tuesdays are at Sadi Sadi. Something came up, so we weren't going to be there today, but we will be there next week. So have no fear. We will be back at Sadi Sadi next Tuesday morning, and Vanessa has the day off, so it's going to be just me here, kind of running the ship here for a second. And I wanted to. I normally would have been. The show wasn't supposed to be happening today, but we had started doing something a little special that we wanted to do for. And again, it's Veterans Day, and for all our veterans out there, we wanted to kind of pay tribute to each and every one of you for the sacrifice that you did for our country, and we wanted to go ahead and kind of say thank you to the ones that tune into the show once or twice along the way, and we wanted to we found out who some folks are and kind of wanted to honor them along on this day, and we didn't want to do it tomorrow; it would be a day late, but you know, we've been kind of working on something special. We'll show you a little later on in the show. But yeah, it's Veterans Day, and to all our veterans out there, I can't thank you enough. It's just I have a lot of veterans in my family, and I know a lot of you guys do too. And it's like well, I don't know what to say, but there's not enough thanks in the world to go ahead and say to each and every one of you, for what you've done. And again, it's like I have a whole new respect for veterans, even more so after I got invited, and I talked about this yesterday a little bit on the show at Mi Familia. But I got invited this weekend to go see my friend's documentary that he was part of. He was the producer of. His name's Fernando Cano, very good producer. He's worked with some great people, Eva Longoria and the Ceballos brothers, and he was, amongst other stuff that he's been doing with other companies, big companies. I'm very proud of him. He's been. I mean, I've seen him from the ground up. It's been his thing, and to see him with all this success, it's just amazing. Shout out to Fernando Cano and the Cano family, Kenya Cano, who is like a sister to me. So, um, you guys, it was so good seeing them this weekend. I haven't seen them. They moved to Dallas, so I don't get to see them that often. I had a little girl not too long ago, and I got a chance to meet her, and that was cool. And but it's the movie itself. It was called American Sons, and it was about the Marines and what they kind of give the inside look. There's a Marine there, and he's videotaping everything. His terrain and what he's got to guard, and his guns and stuff like that. And it gives you an inside look, like not what the movies show you. I mean, the movies show you some good stuff, but this is like an actual footage of what's going on, and it gives you a different perspective, like their perspective from inside the barracks and everything like that. And it was overwhelming because you know, I had a more of an understanding of what they had gone through, and it really opened up my eyes to have more of now I don't want to say respect. I mean, more so respect, of course, but more I don't want to say compassion. Like, I don't know if it's compassion is a word, but it's more you have more, like, you just wanted to hug these guys, man. I mean, you really wanted to, like, not just say thank you, but like you could feel what they were going through, and you can feel their pain and their anguish and the torment and all that. Like, you could feel it, and you're just like, man, it just really. It was so strong. It was the for a small documentary, and this is amazing to me. For a small documentary, and it had such a big impact. This little documentary has such a big impact on people. I left the show early because I had to go do my show. I saw the whole film, and they were about to do the Q&A. And Roman and myself, we kind of snuck out of there because we didn't want to get caught in that because we didn't want to interrupt anybody, and we know how long that was going to be, and so we had to go because we had a show to do at LOL, and it was crazy because uh, I wanted to hear what the Q&A was going to be about. I wanted to hear the perspective of how what made him want to take this on, and but it was so well done, and I was very proud, because um, it you left there kind of like, man, these soldiers were and these Marines, I mean, were just like they were bad, boy. These Marines were bad to the bone, and shout out to Marines was the birthday yesterday, and happy birthday to the Marines, and you know our son, he's a he was a corpsman in the Navy, but because he was a corpsman in the Navy, he trained with the Marines. So he saw pretty much, and then Margaret yesterday, kind of put something in my head that I never thought about either. She goes, well, if he was a corpsman and he was a medic, then it's probably double of what these guys are going through because he had to take care of everybody, and he had to, people were there probably, at he probably seen, so Marines take their last breath, and sailors take their last breath, and I never thought about that. Never thought, and you don't think about this, and it had a lot to do with the movie had a lot to do with their mental health, and we see what they went through in the movies, but this movie here shows you the aftermath, shows you what they are getting into and how they're dealing with society and life and the world, and my dad, would tell me stories when he came back from Vietnam that he goes, man, you're fighting for your country and you come back and they don't even want you here. They had their opinions about you. They called you names and spit on you, and we didn't get the hero's welcome. And I don't know why I'm getting emotional, but I just, my dad, he kind of like, he was a tough cookie, and a lot of the Vietnam veterans I know are tough cookies. I mean, they are, and each and every one of them, they served proudly, voluntarily, and to come back home to that was just that's that was that time, you know. And my dad was explaining to me, he goes, yeah, but you know what? That's what we fought for. He said it just like that. He goes, we fought for their freedom to do that, and that's what this country's about. And I said, wow, Dad, you're seeing it a whole different way than I am, because And he goes, oh, and I gotta lie, my dad, if I'm being transparent, he goes, that's all right. He goes, I mean, I gave him the finger, all of them, but it's like I just started cracking up. I said, wow. He goes, yeah, as much as they're spitting on you and all that stuff, you can't go swinging at them. You can't hit them. So I just, gave him the one finger salute, is what he said. So My wife's yeah, we're gonna do roll call. My wife's gonna do roll call off camera
I'm off
because
camera. I am not dressed
she's
for
not dressed for camera.
front of camera right now.
So she's gonna be saying,
All right. Well, we have Valerie and Pepe watching,
"Pepe, how you doing, brother?"
and
Valerie,
Vanessa Martin said, "Good morning, Happy Veterans Day."
happy Veterans Day, Vanessa. I just told everybody you got the day off.
Valerie Romo said, "Good morning."
Valerie Moore, how you, Valerie Romo? Good morning.
Pepe said, "Thank you to all our veterans." Leo Garza said, "Good morning, brother."
Good morning, Leo, brother Leo. How you doing?
Gina Francis said, "Good morning."
Good morning, Gina Francis.
Maxine Olivo said, "Good morning, Cleto and viewers."
Good morning, Maxine Olivio.
Andy Sanchez said, "Good morning."
Good morning, Andy. How you doing?
Gina Francis said, "Where did you see the documentary?"
So I saw the documentary at the Carver Center this past Sunday. It was it was around 2 o'clock, and it was packed. I mean, people that the movie the Hispanic movie community is really like this tight. You know, I mean, they are, and I'm proud to say I know a lot of them, and I'm friends with them, and it was really cool. I mean, everybody in the Hispanic community was pretty much there. I mean, even uh, from social influencers to senators. You know, Senator Joaquin Castro was there. Sonny Melendez was the host, and I haven't seen him in a minute. And I saw my friend Samantha was there. Uh, you know, who else? Man, there's quite a few folks, and of course the veterans themselves were there, and all the vets, you know. And you got more?
Two more.
Okay.
Angela Bond said, "Good morning, Happy Veterans Day."
Good morning, Angela.
And Pepe said, "Your dad was and is a hero."
Thank you, Pepe. I appreciate that. Yeah, my dad was something else. I mean, he would tell me stories about. Uh, he told me a story about.
Are they still showing the documentary at the Carver Center, or was that a
No,
one-time
that was a
thing?
one-time deal,
Okay.
and I think they were just. It was a special screening.
Hmm.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna get with my friend to find
Yeah, we
out.
need to find out because I'm sure there's other people that missed it that may want to
Yeah,
watch
I
it.
think. I mean, I don't know if it's on YouTube.
I
I don't
don't
think
recall
it'll be on
seeing it.
YouTube.
No, I don't think so.
So it's called American Sons. I'll find out where you can watch it, and but it was just a powerful, impactful movie. It really got me. You know, they give you tissues, you know, as you're walking into the film. So that tells you, you know, you right off the bat. It wasn't for me. It wasn't that. They didn't get to that point, but you felt them. You know, you felt the scene, man. You felt the the camaraderie. You felt the brotherhood. You felt the the PTSD that they saw, and they're showing you stuff, you know, blowing up, and you know they're talking about like, you know, here I was 1 minute talking to my buddy, and the next minute, you know, I'm getting his legs, you know, and it's just wow. So it made me realize, um, it made me realize a lot, you know, about the veterans and what they went through, and more of an understanding. I think that is the word that I was looking for earlier. It was an understanding of what they went through without being there. And this perspective that they give you in the film, it's kind of like, man, you really like. I mean, I really wanted to hold these guys and just tell them, man, yes, more, huh?
I'm ready with the video whenever you. I don't know when you want it.
So we're not gonna do like a complete show today, guys, because we want, you know, I just wanted to come on here because it was Veterans Day and we have a tribute that we want to do, and my wife's gonna go ahead and see if we can start that tribute to all the vets that again that we know of that have seen this show at least once or twice and have commented on here. I've reached out to a lot of them, And the only, and I'll explain. There's one more on here that I don't think we got uh, to include, but I mean, I wish I could put everybody in there, but to me, I didn't have enough time. But it was something that our own veteran Michael Flores came up with, and we wanted to, be able to. And our veteran. He's our very own veteran, and he was in the army, and go Army, go Marines, go Air Force, go Navy, and we have a Navy son, and I come from an Army family. I got to tell you a story. May have already told it. If Vanessa's on, she'll probably tell you I told you this story before. But huh? Okay. Well, guys, to all our veterans out there that tune in to this show, this is for you. Enjoy. Wow. That's to all our veterans out there. Thank you so much. Happy Veterans Day to everyone. And to my wife who put that together, thank you very much, babe. That was great, babe. We did a fantastic job. That was awesome. I hope, again, this was so last minute. I think Michael Flores brought it up to us on Monday, I think it was, or last week. Was it last week? I think it was last week. And, we started trying to get people to get pictures to us as soon as possible. And you know, uh, you know, people that we thought, at first I told my wife, I said, we want to honor the veterans, all of that we know from the show. But then I said, let's get all the veterans that we from that from folks that watch the show. And and sure enough, we reached out, to certain people. I mean, that we knew of that were in the military. And El Padrino, I saw him at my son's game, and I asked him if he was in the military. He said yes. He sent me pictures, and Angela Bonds, her dad, was on here, and Juan Virial, my good friend, who's tuned in and donated, for the Kerrville show, and he's come on our show here a couple times, and I reached out to him. He sent me a picture. My cousin, Brian, you hear me talk about Byron and Brian. Brian went to the army. He was in the army. And my cousin Ernie, baby Ernie, Ernest Virial, who tunes in every now and then from Michigan. I reached out to him, and there's a one more that I didn't have. He didn't have a photo of himself, and that's our very own Guy Buckner, who tunes in a lot too. So I want to give Guy a shout out and a thank you for your service. And in matter of fact, even our very own mayor, we reached out to her and, thank you, Mayor, for your service, in the Air Force. And, she was on our show as well. So, I mean, it's like everybody that had a little hand in our show at one time or another, we kind of reached out to. And if you know of anybody else, we'd still, the day's still young. We'd love to go ahead and put their picture and add it to it. But that was very well done. Thank you to Lynette Rodriguez, my beautiful wife, who now I'm gonna have to go I have to buy her chilaquiles. I thought I heard her laughing, but she's not laughing. Oh, there she goes. Okay. All right. Well, I tell you what, guys. Like I said, I didn't want to. It's not going to be a full show today, um, but I did. I did want to take. Let's see how we doing here. You know what? We got 5 minutes, and then I'll go ahead and close it out. But I got to share a story. So my grandmother, I remember we came back from Chicago. No, it was actually Thanksgiving. My son just got done with basic training in Michigan, and he came back down. He was about to get shipped off, in his ship to Afghanistan. And it was Thanksgiving, and I'll never forget my grandmother, the the widow of Cleto Rodriguez Sr., the Congressional Medal of Honor recipient, you know, in the Army. Um, we're in her house where it's Thanksgiving, and she says to us, to the whole family, "Give me Robert's plate." Now, Robert is our son. He's in the Navy. He's in his dress whites. Put everything on his plate. He's got turkey, he's got ham, he's got stuffing, he's got, cranberry sauce, he's got green beans, he's got all the fixings on his plate. A roll, all that. She goes, "Let me have this plate." We're thinking she's gonna sit our son in our grandfather's seat because she's walking toward the dining room. And we're like, wow, nobody sat in his seat since he passed. She walks by the dining room. We're like, okay, what's going on with grandma? She's very, you know, she's very quiet. She's one of those that she's old school, doesn't speak until spoken to kind of people, and very polite, very courteous. She she goes by the dining room, passes that table up. She goes by the kitchen, passes that table up. She goes by where the kids' table is, passes that up. She opens the outside patio door. She goes outside, puts his plate on the picnic table, and tells him, "Mijo, I know we're on the same team, but those dress whites don't go good in my greenhouse." Ah, we lost it. We lost it. We're like, oh my gosh. At first we thought grandma was going cuckoo, cuckoo. No, she was playing a joke. We're like, what is going on with grandma right now? It's like, oh wow. So and she goes, "I'm just kidding. Come on in here." And she put his plate on my grandfather's chair. He was getting shipped off the next day. And she said, whatever he wants, make sure he gets. And Miss that lady. So yeah, it was kind of interesting. It was fun. Um, there's so many stories that veterans can tell you. If you sit down with a veteran, they could tell you a story, all kinds of stories about people they never thought they'd meet, about people that they kept in touch with, people that they lost. And they'll tell you about their characters, they'll tell you about their family, they'll tell you about everything they learned. And that's what I learned from my dad. I learned about all his buddies, and he told me, it's like, he said it's just like Forrest Gump. You meet a guy named Pittsburgh, but he's from Dallas, and he goes, you meet a guy named Dallas, and he's from Cincinnati. I go, wow, that's. I just enjoyed listening to my dad um, tell stories, and you know, um, if you, and I think the main thing of that film was if you're going through something, if you're living with PTSD, that it was their way of saying, hey, that you can still get help, because a lot of those guys were dealing with it and they got help, and they're doing a lot better now. And a lot of them didn't want to get help. They saw it as a sign of weakness. And one guy said, nah, it's not. It's not a sign of weakness. So I applauded him for that, because I can only imagine. And that's all I can do is imagine. And I haven't been in their shoes. I haven't seen what they've seen, but I can never answer for them. But I can only imagine. And but if you see a veteran today, thank them, shake their hand, and let them know that you're grateful for this freedom. And on that note, that's my final thought. And we will see you mañana. We got a new sponsor. We'll be at Poblanos Mexican Restaurant tomorrow at 10 o'clock downtown, right next to the Majestic. It's a brand new spot. Looking forward to it. And come on out and see us. We'd love to go ahead and say hi. All right, guys. With that said, thank you very much to Madi. Thank you very much to everybody that sent a picture in, to all our veterans out there, to Lynette. Thank you so much for uh, the regular one. Oh, you know what? No, let's end it with that video again. Let's end it with that video again. All right, guys. Y'all have a blessed day. See you mañana. God bless. Take care.